Okay, so we got the spoilers for chapter 297, and it's everything that we had hoped for. Well, almost everything. So first I'm gonna go over the rough translation for like almost the entire chapter, and then we'll talk about what we can actually see in the chapter so far, and then try to make sense of things. Okay, so the first page describes the location, etc. We get the time, 8:34 p.m. on the side of the gate to the mainland, nicknamed Bronze Gate. So then I guess it cuts to like the control room of Tartarus. And we're seeing some of the guards talking here. Actually, some of them are getting their names. Briareos is talking to Gigas. He's like, announced security code red. Briareos, Aniki was killed. I guess he's talking about his brother. So yeah, at this point, we see all of the near high ends with All For One, who's controlling Shigaraki at this point, storming Tartarus, and we see like the defense robots, as I suspected that they would have some kind of defense system like this, like firing on them, but it's not really doing much. The robots that we're seeing here are actually reminiscent of the robots that we saw at like the entrance exam. So I guess after All For One gets past this like initial wave of security, he says, "How disappointing." And then we cut to Tartarus B10, the deepest part. And then someone apparently is saying this. It seems the big guy will be arriving tomorrow, referring to Gigantomachia. I also talked about this in my previous video about the potential prison break. Wasn't sure about the timeline of things because I was saying like the potential people who could be breaking out of Tartarus, after the war. So I guess this confirms that Gigantomachia is not there yet. So he's not going to be included in this prison break, at least right now. He's an underling of that pickled plumhead All For One, right? And someone's like, they didn't kill him? You can't kill a guy that big with a weapon. And he's a person. They can't just launch a missile at him. You can't call that a person. He's a disaster or a beast. The same as the brutes imprisoned here. Stop saying that. It'll be in the records. The Hearts and Mind Party will probably be dissolved, but I'm sure the original faction won't let this chance go to waste. We get attacked for violating human rights already. You don't know where the info might leak from, but it's fact. Those guys just have human forms. They're terrifying things that have lost their standards due to their quirk and got mixed into humans. So that's pretty interesting. Getting some more insight into Tartarus here. They do have some human rights violations going on. But as we were getting all of that back and forth dialogue between the Tartarus guys, we're seeing like the prisoners here. And then we're seeing like Moonfish. He's like, has his face up against a wall. Then I guess we're seeing Muscular, who's like in a similar chair confinement to like even All For One. Then we're seeing like this woman character who we haven't seen before. Kind of reminds me of Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim. Then we're seeing like the back of Overhaul. We're also seeing Kurogiri. We're seeing a guy who's like crouched down with like his arms on his knees like this, but his head's down, and this might be Stain. His hair kind of looks like Stain. I don't want to get everyone's hopes up because, they were all talking about on Twitter that there's no Stain in this chapter, but I think this might be him. But anyway, then we get the security code red. There are trespassers, security code red, locking all floors. All staff immediately go on high alert. They're coming from the gate. I can't believe this time. No way. They came when escaping. Begin dropping bridge, kill target. So as this is happening, we see like the bridge, the bridge that we always see whenever the series cuts to Tartarus, that starts to like break apart pretty much to like stop an invasion or just them even leaving. So it cuts back to the perspective from All For One / Shigaraki. And we see Shigaraki's like consciousness coming through and like trying to take over. And he's like, "Sensei, I said this is my body." And then All For One's like, "So you're awake. Take a break. The super regeneration is working properly. You have to get better." And then Shigaraki's like, "You told me to rest my body." And All For One's like, "After we do this." Shigaraki's like, "Give me back my body." And All For One's like, "You're the one who wanted my power. Am I wrong?" And then All For One says, "You spit at the world who didn't offer you a hand. You wanted power to carry out your hatred. This is the result of your strong will, and what happens from here on is important." Shigaraki says, "I won't become your chess piece." All For One's like, "Tomura, don't misunderstand. You are important." And then the next me, I guess he's trying to say here. And then I guess like within their minds or within the vestige world, he like traps Shigaraki in like this darkness stuff. And Shigaraki's like trying to fight out of it. Then it comes back to the Tartarus guards and it's like, the surveillance tower is destroyed. It's Shigaraki and the Nomus. And then All For One, thinking to himself, says, "I was able to find my body using the search quirk." And we actually do see that, like he's pinpointing where in Tartarus his like locked up body is located. Just like how we saw like Shigaraki pinpointing Izuku, you know, earlier on in the war arc. But it's in the deepest part, over 500 meters underwater. Even if I avoid my body and destroy the building, my body won't be able to withstand the pressure of being that far underwater, and this incomplete body won't last either. And I want some of the other villains too. So that straight up confirms that like All For One wasn't just interested in his own body, he definitely wants the other villains locked up in there too, trying to, you know, reinforce the League of Villains, or just, you know, whatever they're gonna be called after this. Jeez, Tartarus, even if I had been able to bring Machia, they still would have had the first move. Even if this body was complete, attacking from the outside would have been hard. Then it cuts back to the Tartarus guards. They're like, the surveillance system is down. There seems to have been some kind of EMP-like attack. We actually see like something like that happening. There's like this surge of like electricity coming through like the doors in the cells and starts short-circuiting everything. And I guess at this point, the cells start to become unlocked and the prisoners are able to escape at this point. It'll take 3 seconds to bring it back. Wait, why? They shouldn't be able to know the system is down from the inside. Then All For One says, it seems even I struggle to revolt against God. I can't get out. Isn't that right, All Might? And then we have like a flashback to them like talking at the end of season 3 without sharing consciousness from the inside and the outside, that is. And it cuts to the Tartarus guards and it's like the system isn't coming back on. The resident block is being unlocked from the inside. Repression unit has arrived. Get all the resident blocks under control. As according to the rules, any prisoner who takes even one step out of their door, shoot. And then we see Muscular, and he's completely out of his cell, and he has like his quirk activated. Like his muscle cells start becoming like, you know, big and covering his body. He's like, that thing won't kill me. Where's the door to paradise? And they're like shooting him, and it's just like, I guess, having no effect on him. Now we see Moonfish, and we're seeing like his actual face. And yeah, he just looks like a normal dude with like a buzz cut, and he has like the swords coming out of his mouth, and he's taking down guards too, and he's like, meat. And then we see that woman who reminds me of Ramona Flowers, and she says the system won't run even if I use my quirk. Not really sure what this means. It's hard to make out exactly everything that's going on right now. It's possible that she has like some kind of EMP quirk possibly, and she I don't know, was able to make this happen. I don't know, I thought it was implied that All For One did this, even though we don't explicitly see him doing it, at least from the spoilers here. And we see Overhaul has broken out of his cell as well, and he says father, who I, you know, assume he's referring to like the Yakuza boss guy. And as expected, you know, Overhaul doesn't have his arms. He kind of just has like flappy sleeves. And then someone is like, wait, there's no bridge, we can't get out. Screw this, let me get out fast. And then All For One says, if you want to get out, then follow my orders, my friend. I want you to watch from beside me. And Muscular's like, Shigaraki. And All For One, a more perfect Dark King will be born in the age about to start. This is the story of how I become the greatest Dark Lord. It's at this point that we see like the actual All For One, you know, with the potato face and the respirator on. He's broken out of his cell, and he's like outside of Tartarus right now, and he has like this machine with him that's like connected to the respirator thing. And that's where the chapter ends. Wow, this is amazing. You're super hyped. Oh my God, I'm so excited for what's to come. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.